All right, very honored to bring up Navy SEAL Craig Sawman Sawyer. He started out in the Marines. He was a Navy SEAL, SEAL Team 6 operator, Federal Air Marshal, high threat mobile security agent in charge for Department of State, very active in our intelligence community throughout many war zones, and he's also the founder of Veterans for Child Abuse. Let's hear it for Craig Sawman Sawyer.
Woo!
Hi, everybody. I just want to do about a 45-minute drum solo for you guys, so that'd be cool. Hey, I can't really see with these lights, but I'd like to see a show of hands. Anybody here ever been a child? Anybody here actually care about children? Because sometimes when I watch the news and I watch what's playing out in our country, our beloved USA, I begin to wonder if anybody really cares about the children, because a lot of what I see, folks, I don't know about you, but it doesn't make any sense. We've seen Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Harvey Weinstein, Diddy, and all of this seemingly strange behavior. And what I've seen, coming from a warrior background, I'm like, these people are making war on children, and it's enjoying a lot of top cover. So what I did when I learned about child trafficking, I was in Houston, Texas, at home visiting a friend of mine from the intelligence community. We're sitting back, smoking cigars, catching up, several of us from different agencies. And one of the guys described to me how bad child trafficking was in Houston, and that was at that time, the hottest epicenter of child sex trafficking in the United States. And I said, well, what does that look like? Because I've got a TS-SCI clearance. I've been read into all kinds of secret programs, and I've been to 60 countries around the world. I've seen a lot of injustice, and I've seen a lot of tragedy, and I'm not aware of this. And so if I'm not aware of it, I bet you a lot of other people aren't aware of it either. And he'd been again describe to me what he was learning about it, and I was horrified. I thought, why am I deploying to any other country around the world to protect everybody that I love from, when we've got the worst predators hunting our children right here? The most precious, the most innocent ones that I thought I was really fighting the most to defend, the defenseless. Why are we allowing this to happen in our United States, and why does nobody know about it? So I began to realize very quickly child trafficking is a covert operation run domestically at industrial scale inside the United States. And that's why what you watch in D.C. doesn't make any sense, because a lot of those people are on video for blackmail purposes. That's what Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein were doing. They were inviting people that they targeted. It's called brownstoning operations in the intelligence community. You choose a mayor, a governor, a congressman, senator, corporate CEO. You target them and you invite them to an island or to a mansion or to a resort where there's every manner of hookers and blow, and they follow their noses and they get into all kinds of trouble there where they think there's no rules, but the whole place is wired with cameras and microphones. And then whoever has set up that party or that event has those people by the short hairs. They control them from then on. It's very prevalent, and that's why we see things that don't make sense. Somebody runs for office on one ticket, and then they do the exact opposite. Well, he's probably on video doing unspeakable things to little children. It's not a small-scale thing. We've got an epidemic of child sex trafficking in the continental United States right now that generates more revenue than all pro sports combined. If you've ever been to a major pro sporting event, you see there's a lot of money in that industry. So what does that mean for our children? How much harm has to be happening for it to generate that much wealth? So people are being bought out, people are being leveraged, and they want to be in the cool guys club. They want to be in the secret society. the network of criminality that allows them to have the wealth and power that they lust after. So the price of admission to be in the cool guys club, the secret societies that JFK warned us about before they executed him in public, they want to be in those groups, and they want to have that wealth and power. So the price of admission is what they're made to do to the children. That's what it's all about. And once we've started researching it more deeply, we found in all directions it is ultimately a spiritually motivated crime. How many of you understand that instinctively, or just from what you've seen? Going back to the Bible, the fallen have always made war on mankind, and children are the most high value target because they're the most precious, the most innocent. And they're trying to harm the heart of the Father, so they want the unspeakable done to the little ones. That's why it's valuable to them, because they get the kickbacks from the fallen, from the wicked, and that's the dark stuff that they're all into. So I thought, look, let's wreck their caper. Let's ruin their covert operation by exposing it. So I founded Veterans for Child Rescue, a nonprofit organization. We made a documentary called Contraland. You can watch it for free. Go to contralandmovie.com. It's a very high-quality documentary film. It will empower you on what's really going on. It's a mild look at what we learned in the first 3 years of Veterans for Child Rescue. What we've learned since then is infinitely more. So we're filming more, we're investigating more, but we run joint sting operations with federal and local law enforcement, and federal, state, and local, against these predators all over the country. And we've got a 100% conviction rate on them. So as soon as I put in the paperwork to found the nonprofit organization, our daughter, Aspen, who had just turned 18, love of our lives. I'll speak for my wife, Tressa. Nothing more precious to parents than their children. She was abducted and savagely traumatized. And I won't go into the details, but very, very ugly. It was a serial predator that did not belong on the streets, but with soft judges, they kick these predators right back out to continue the harm. And it's a cycle. Into the prison and back out to the streets to harm some more. And it's just, it's stunning to see how much it's allowed out there. So our daughter is badly rocked as she was from that attack. On the way to the hospital, we asked her which direction she wanted to go about it, because I said, Sweet Pea, you're going to have to choose before we get to the hospital, because when we get there, if you want to fight back, like if you don't have it in you and you just want this to go away and you just want to heal, we're here for you. And we'll rally around you, and it'll go that way. If you want to fight back, you have to decide now, because they're going to do an examination and they're going to question you to a degree that it's going to be very, very invasive and uncomfortable, but you've got to decide what you want to do. And to her credit, of course, her mama's Irish and Cherokee, and I'm Norwegian and Cherokee and Catawba, so she's got warrior blood on all sides. I guess we shouldn't have been surprised. She says, "Oh, Papa, he's got to go down. He's done this to many others." And when he had that knife to my throat, he said he hadn't understood why he hadn't killed me like he had all the others before. I think he was still going to kill me, but he hadn't yet. And she says, he can't be allowed to do this to anybody else. He's going to keep going. We have to stop him. I want to fight. And I'm like, woo, all right there, let's go. So that's the way that it went. Well, fast forward a little time later, she wanted to serve on one of our sting operations, because at the time we were using young people that were 18 years of age but who looked much younger as junior decoys. And you'll see that in our documentary Contraland. But she says, "I want to be one of your decoys." And I said, "Nope. You're not going around any bad guys, ever." And she says, "But can't you protect me?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah. But you don't want to see what that looks like you know. Besides, we're going to have a house full of SWAT team, K-9 unit. We even got air cover if we need it, highway patrol out. We got surveillance out. This is a big deal, and I don't want you anywhere near that. I don't want to put your little body, or she's 5 foot tall. I don't want to put your little tiny body armor on and make sure it's right and you're okay. She goes, don't you do that for the other decoys? I said, yeah, we do. She's like, well, my wife told me to let her do it. My team told me to let her do it. Her counselor told me to let her do it. And ultimately, I believe the Father gave me the clearance. I got a piece about it. I'm like, okay. And if you're going to do this, though, you're going to do it with me and right under my wing where I can make sure you're okay. She's like, yeah, good answer. And so she did. And now our little daughter, who the wicked have attacked and deeply traumatized, has become our most fierce predator hunter. She's put more child predators away than anybody I know. We're so grateful for that. And, you know, I can't bring everybody's daughter on an operation with us and let them experience that. But when she tells about it, or when they see her fight back on our documentary and on our radio show and our television show and the podcast that we do, I'll go speak sometimes publicly and people stop me and say, hey, tell your daughter Aspen, she's our hero. Our daughter or our son is finding their voice because they were traumatized too, and they saw her fight back, and they're emboldened and encouraged from that. So send our blessings. I'm like, I will. And so I do. And so we're grateful for that opportunity for her to have that impact and fight back. So Hope Fest, we're here for hope. Well, we see a society that's in a lot of turmoil and chaos. And how many of you want things to be good? Man, I want things to be good. And look, if you want things to be good, don't you have to address why they're not good? You have to, if they're not good, you have to address it. And that means facing the ugly stuff and getting involved somewhat. Man, we have so much freedom and liberty. God bless all of our law enforcement, everybody that's on security tonight. Bless you all, serving and protecting. We have so much blessing here that we can be free and have free speech and talk about what matters to us and enjoy all these protections. But shouldn't we participate in this constitutional republic that our forefathers prayed over and hacked out for us, and all of our military and law enforcement have defended for all these years? Isn't it incumbent upon us to get involved and do a little something? So the good news is, let me see just a show of hands real quick. How many of you believe somebody should do something? Here's the good news. You can't raise your hand unless you're somebody. Ow! How about that? Thank you for raising your hand. You're somebody, so you should do something. Yes, join us. Go to vetsforchildrescue.org or v4cr.org. We've got a whole list of empowering tools. How to make sure your child's safe, how to get involved politically, how to find your voice, how to support and fund our operations so we can go arrest more predators and put them in prison to rape no more. All of it. How to pray over the children, pray over our nation, get involved, get preachers to start talking about the protection so that everybody understands what's going on. Beautiful beast right here. Beautiful puppy. So there's the good news, man. We are somebody, and if only we just choose to, we can each pitch in and be part of the overall solution in this constitutional republic to see a positive change. Look at what happened recently with Charlie Kirk. Somebody wanted him to shut up. Are we going to allow that? Are we going to allow one man to fall in his shoes, not to be filled with millions more who say, we appreciate that message of love too. We appreciate that message of our Savior too. We appreciate that message of truth too. We won't allow it to be shut up. So we all have a voice. If only we will just find it and use it. Why? Why does anybody serve in the military and law enforcement? To protect people? Hopefully it's love. I'll tell you what, when I served in the military, I wanted to defend what we have right here. This is precious to me. This is beautiful that we do this here. I want to protect this. And so I was willing to go over there to stop the wicked from coming here and ruining this. It's an act of love that those that step between harm and the defenseless. Look at the fierce mama bears. Man, you try to go take a child from a woman who really loves her kid, you got trouble. You put your arm in a bear's cave and you try to get her cubs, you're going to draw back a nub if you get out of there at all. Papa bears, fathers who love enough to protect, love enough to serve and defend. God bless them all. Let us all be like that. Let us never allow ourselves to be beaten down into silence while the wicked make war on our children. So, the fallen want access to our children at the earliest possible juncture, if possible, while still in the womb. That's their whole spiritual thing. Whether you understand that aspect of it or not, the practical problem that we have, our children are being traumatized, they're being programmed, and they're being wrecked. Our younger generations aren't as capable as former generations. That's a higher form of fifth-generation warfare that Yuri Bezmenov, a Russian KGB defector, warned us very eloquently about many years ago, and we haven't listened. A lot of American people don't comprehend why there's such perversion and distortion taught in all of our media, and we're being bombarded with all this stuff that doesn't make any sense, and it's being forced on us. We have to say that it's normal or in good, or be silenced or penalized. You know that it's wrong because it's dysfunctional. It doesn't work. You know it in your soul, but you're not allowed to say it anymore. I think we got to learn to start speaking truth in love again, saying that doesn't work. We're not going to say it's normal and good. You can't abuse a child because it's traumatizing to them. No matter how you try to tell it, you can't spin it and say, well, I prefer to abuse the child sexually, so that's my preference. You've got to say it's normal and good. What about the child who's traumatized, doesn't comprehend what that is? It's a life sentence for that child. We know that because we interview hundreds and hundreds of the survivors. So we can all do something about this in our schools, in our legislation, with our judges. We've got a certain globalist billionaire that funds the campaigns of judges and district attorneys to get them in office with the specific agreement that they will not even prosecute violent or gross child sex crimes. On what planet is that okay? Where does that make any sense? Gross miscarriage of justice, gross violation of the public trust. It doesn't make any sense. We have to start figuratively and peacefully flipping some tables over and saying that doesn't work for us. We want our children defended. We want truth spoken. We want freedom and liberty here again. We want love to prevail, not predation on the innocent. This is dysfunctional and destructive. We have to speak it. As long as we speak it in love and we make sure that it prevails, we'll have a tomorrow that's like we grew up with. And we'll have a more functional and productive tomorrow for our children. So we appreciate everybody that's watched our documentary, Contraland. We appreciate everybody that finds us on social media, shares it with everybody you care about. We appreciate your prayers for our nation, prayers for the children, prayers for our team. Anybody out there, any law enforcement or anybody that knows a district attorney or a judge who will prosecute, they're a good person, please contact us at Vets for Child Rescue and make that connection. We want to meet them and plan operations in your county, your district, because our sting operations are very, very effective. We want to come and help in your town, okay? Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate you all. Have a great Hope Fest. You are the hope. You are the hope. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Craig.